I'm going to get a FTMO account and I'm going to try again, and I'm going to record that and track my results with that, and we'll do fine on that, so you guys can actually see how I perform with a real live money on the line FTMO account instead of just fucking demo accounts because I'm a loser. Alright, so before we get into this video, I just want you guys to know I'm not a financial advisor, I'm no special trader, I'm not trying to teach anybody anything. This video is just for entertainment purposes only. This is just a video of me reflecting on my past results over the past week, going over my journal, and anything that has to do with trading, with my personal reflection. Once again, I'm not trying to teach anybody anything or to show them anything. This is just for entertainment purposes only and for my own personal growth. Alright, so first, what we're going to do is, I actually didn't trade this past week. The reasoning behind that was because my mental space. This week, on Sunday, I took a couple trades, and I knew not the market. The market wasn't the problem, it was me. I knew that I just wasn't mentally stable to trade this week. I don't mean that to sound like a bad thing. My mindset wasn't right. I was very impatient, I was overthinking, and I had my mind was moving too fast. And the big reason because of that was because what was happening was I was looking over my results over the weekend. I was back testing, and I back tested again over the last weekend before this past week started of trading. I back tested a lot, and I built my confidence. Now what that did actually caused a problem, because on Sunday night I pretty much started losing every trade I was taking. And so I decided, you know what? I'm just going to stop trading this week. I'm not going to trade. I'm going to take a week off to refresh my brain, because I've been doing a lot of work on my trading strategy for the past couple months, and I haven't had a break. And I've been sticking to my discipline and just trading and trading and trading, and I haven't refreshed at all. So I spent this past week actually just refreshing my mind, trying to come up with new ideas. And granted, I did. So I actually went down and dug deep. I sat down with myself a lot at my computer this week, and I didn't really backtest. I kind of stayed away from the charts. I didn't really focus on the charts at all. It was more of soul searching in my brain with myself and thinking of how I can make myself better and all of that kind of good stuff. And so what I found was the reason why I'm having my patience is a big problem. Like, that's a roadblock I keep running into. Am I able to still be disciplined and execute? Yes. But I run into another problem. Since my trading strategy takes about 1 to 2 weeks for my big winners to finish playing out, I can't have that if I want to do FTMO, right? I need to be on a lower time frame, because I need to be able to make 10% within a month. And with my trading strategy, I'm only able to make 5 to 8% a month. That's very minimal because of the swing trading aspect. So what I decided was, if we look at the time frames, right? Since I was using the daily and the 1 hour, so I would go to the daily, I would see that, okay, well, this pair specifically is bearish, because we saw that this daily candle broke this support, and I'm going to clear this. But we see that right here. See how the candle pushes up and then comes down and then pushes up a green candle, and we see that this created a support right here. Let me just mark it out. Okay, so I was focusing on this area right here. This is how I found my support. You can see that it created structure. I'm not going to go over how to find structure. If you guys are a little more experienced in the charts, you'll understand what I'm looking at, right? Price created the support on the daily. This is my old strategy, by the way. This was the swing trading strategy that I spent a lot of time this past week thinking about how I can make it better. And so I would wait for, in this scenario, this is a bearish pair because we see that the candle closed bearish right here, and so this would overall be bearish. And then I would go to the 1 hour, and I would take a trade, right? Now, I'm looking at, same thing, I call it candle structure, because a lot of people, they'll zoom out their charts and be like, oh, here's a support, and they'll be looking at, like, price came down and then up. It would be easier if I draw it out kind of like this, right? And then they would expect it to come back to there, right? For me, I don't see it as that, because if those type of structure, if it's a significant level, I call it a significant level in my mind. if it's a significant low level on the lower time frame, it'll show up on a higher time frame as a candle structure, because the level is so significant that it's creating a bearish or bullish candle. And so what I'm looking at here is, I already know the market is bearish because it closed below a daily support, candle structure support. So what I would do is same thing. I'm looking for breaks of candle structures. Can't talk right now. Same situation here. We see that price, right? Comes down, goes up, comes down, creates this bearish candle, then creates a bullish candle. So two different candle types. And then this bearish candle breaks that candle structure. And if we go down to like a 15-minute time frame back here, you see how price, right? Like I mean, it's consolidating here, but you kind of get the general idea of this, right? Like, you guys see what's happening there? I'm just looking at that on a higher time frame because it just makes more sense to me. This is just for me. But anyways, then I would basically do this. I would put after this candle right here, then I would put my sell limit here after that candle closes. And then basically I would take two different positions. One of the positions is at a 1-to-1 risk to reward ratio. The other position has a take profit of 1-to-2, but they both have the same entry price and stop loss. So this trade right here took, I don't even know if it hit. Yeah, it hit basically this is a big winning trade. This trade took 2 days. Doesn't seem like a lot, but that's 2 days, right? And if I have a 50% risk to reward ratio, I'm only going to be able to make, I'm not going to make 10% in a month, you know, because the time frame, it doesn't work out like that. For me, I call them big winners, but, you know, with my experience, I found that the market will only push like a 1-to-2 risk to reward ratio, and then it'll pull back. Sometimes it'll go to 1-to-1 and then pull back and hit stop loss. What I found was about 30% of the time, it's going to hit 1-to-1 risk to reward ratio, then it's going to pull back and hit stop loss. The other 30% of the time, it's going to hit stop loss anyways, and then 40% of the time, it's going to be a big winner, or it's going to go to 1-to-2 risk to reward ratio. So, it's all my risk management. That's going to be a whole nother video. Right now, I'm just talking about the market structure. But, you get the idea. 2 days, and I'm only making 5 to 8% a month. And also taking into consideration when I'm on a losing streak, I will end the week negative, and psychologically that's really, really hard for me to deal with. And that kind of sets the mood for the next week. So what I found was, okay, well, since I'm using the daily as my ultimate time frame, right, and my 1 hour as an entry time frame, and I'm able to make 5 to 8% a month, what happens if I cut that in half? You know, because what it's going to do is cut the time in half, right? If I cut the time frames in half. So, now it's not going to be, you know, because half of 1 hour is 30 minutes. But, you know, you get the idea. Like, a general time frame is, if instead of using the daily as my ultimate time frame, I'll use the 4 hour as my ultimate time frame. See how it's one space away? I don't ever use the 30 minute or 45 minute. I only use the lowest I'll go is a 15 minute time frame. So, what I decided was, I was like, okay, well, instead of using the daily as my ultimate time frame, I'll use the 4 hour as my ultimate time frame. Instead of using the 1 hour as my entry time frame, I'll use the 15 minute as my entry time frame. Now, since I cut my time frames in half, right, in half of each other, what I have to do, I can't use a 30 pip stop loss anymore. That's just too big for the time frame, and that's going to ruin the strategy. It's not going to be the same. So, what I have to do is cut my stop loss in half and my final take profit. So instead of having a 30 pip stop loss, 30 pip take profit 1, and a 60 pip take profit 1, I'll have a 15 pip stop loss, a 15 pip take profit 1, and a 30 pip take profit 2. Now, that's kind of consolidation, but like, let me find kind of a cherry picked example of this. Okay, so I'm gonna rewind to this candle right here where it breaks this structure. Because it's going to be the same concept, guys. Like, it's going to be the same exact rules. Like, the only thing that I changed is the time frames and the pip countage. Like, everything is the exact same. Like, I'm looking at my 4 hour ultimate time frame to see if we're bearish or bullish. And I'm gonna rewind back to here, because this is going to be like kind of it's not going to be as clean of trades, right? I mean, we do get, you know, we get a candle close there, and then we could have had, you know, one position that hits take profit 1, so it would be break-even trades. But anyways, we're just going to do this just to cherry pick and to kind of like, you know, show you guys what I'm talking about here. Alright, I'm going to skip one candle ahead on the 4 hour just so we can get that candle close. Now, after this 4 hour candle right here closes, right, I'm like, okay, instead of being a bullish bias, my bias switches to a bearish sentiment now because we got this 4 hour candle close below this level. If we go down to the 15 minute, you guys see how this is a structure point right here, right? Like right here, you see that price pushes up, comes down, pushes up, comes down, created the support with these wicks, pushes up, breaks that resistance right there, and then comes down and it starts coming down to break the support. Now we've broken support. Now, what I would do is I'm looking at this structure right here, this candle, right? See how price right here pushes down, goes up the green one, comes down. Same rules, same everything. I want an entry off of this level. Now our first take profit would be 15 pips and the stop loss is going to be 15 pips, right? And basically I'm going to go to the 4 hour just to speed this up. It looks like this might actually be a loss because it looks like it is. Yep. That's totally fine. Losses happen, guys. Like that, you know, that's just how it is. That's trading. Like don't take it personal, right? We're still bearish, but this is my second. So that first trade right here, that's my break and retest setup. This setup right here, I like to call my reversal setups because we see that price when it broke this support level right here, right? We come down, go up, create that resistance, come down. Do you guys understand? I hope you guys understand like what I'm looking at right here, right? And I'm drawing these arrows so you guys can see like the market structure that I'm marking up. That's how I see market structure, right? But anyways, looking at this, you see how we get this 1 hour candle that closes below here, but we don't, you know, we don't get any candles that wick through this area. Kind of like this right here. Right here. So see how this candle right here breaks this support, but the next candle goes up. It cleared liquidity here. It went up a little bit high, but there's no gap in this wick like there is right here. There's no candle, no wick or anything that cleared this area. So, as I see it, from here to here is a very small liquidity zone, but this is a $7 trillion market, so that's a liquidity gap. What I'm expecting, I don't expect too much off of this level, but what I've expected, and I've back tested it, and over time, it's because it's the same scenario on a higher time frame with the sequence of time frames that I'm using, it's going to be the same exact thing, right? What I found over time, this setup right here is overall profitable with a 1-to-2 risk to reward ratio ultimately, but if I'm doing my risk management taking half and half, it's going to be 1 to 1.5 overall profitable, right? So this is a setup. I'm not over trading. I'm not doing anything. This is a setup I would take. And so what I would do, same rules, same everything. Instead of a 30 pip stop loss, I'm using a 15 pip stop loss. And then we get another breakout right here. Granted, it's very close to that same entry, but we get the same situation here. We go, you know, we created this structure right here. You can see it. Like, I'll draw it out for you guys. We have that structure right there, right? You guys can see that? Cool. Same thing. You know, once I get that 15-minute candle close, boom. Boom. Take another trade. And you see that basically this just already made up the loss. We have a trail, you know, we have that TP2 working for us. We still have that trade. Now, this is a very close one right here that literally you have a 15-minute, you know, a 15-minute window to be able to enter this trade. Like, literally not even that. Like, you know, because you got to be there. Like, for me, I'm very disciplined. Like, I am there on my charts. Every candle close, every 15 minutes, I have to be here. And so this is only going to be a strategy that I trade during the London and New York. So this is going to be kind of rough for my schedule, but I'll make it work. I can trade during the Asian with this. I can still have the same trading sessions that I usually did. It's just the reason why I'm doing, like, you know, that I changed the time frame and the pip countage. Literally everything's the same. The results are the same. I've done a lot of back testing this week. The results are the same. The only difference is the time span that I'm holding the trades. That was one of the only problems I was having now that was causing a lot of my mental problems, like the overthinking and setting the tone. Like, I had a losing week last week, right? It was really rough to be able to, like, I didn't trade this week because of what happened last week. I didn't want to trade because I didn't want to lose money. and that was a fear. And that fear drove me to not trade, although it was a right decision because I needed to recharge. That was a good decision. I didn't lose any money. The number one thing is protecting capital. That's what I did this week. I spent this week backtesting, soul searching for myself, and finding out what I wanted to do and what was going to help me and the decisions that I needed to make that to help me. And so this is what I came up with. Is literally I just cut everything in half because I needed to cut my time span in half to be able to hit that 10% profit goal, because what I'm going to do is in the next, I think like a week or two, in either next week or the week after that, I'm going to get a FTMO account and I'm going to try again, and I'm going to record that and track my results with that, and you know, we'll do fine on that so you guys can actually see how I perform with a real live money on the line FTMO account instead of just fucking demo accounts because I'm a loser. But anyways, getting back to it, right here, literally, I'm there, I am here when this 15-minute candle, I am on the charts when this 15-minute candle closes. I'll be laying in bed, or I'll be playing video games, I'll fucking have my charts open on one monitor, because I have a 3-monitor setup. I have a monitor right there, right here. It's kind of like, you know, they're right next to each other, right? So, you know, I'll have video games on my middle monitor, and then I'll have my charts up on my right side monitor, or even on my laptop if I want to. Whatever the case may be, I'll be sitting, I'll be able to have my charts open so I can see what's going on and to be able to track that. And so basically we're just doing the same thing. It's going to be vice versa for buys. I'm just showing you guys a sell example, but it's the same exact thing, guys. Like, it's literally like my rules are the same, everything's the same. The only thing that is changing here is, one, the time frames I'm using. In correlations aspect, they're the same exact thing, right? It's going to be the same thing as if I was using the daily and the 1 hour, but I'm using the 4 hour and 15 minute. So we got that out of the way. The second thing that it changes is the stop loss size that I'm using and the take profits that I'm using. The risk management is exactly the same. I have to adjust because instead of using a 30 pip stop loss, since I was using a 30 pip stop loss and now I'm using a 15 pip stop loss, that means I can double my lot size because, you know, cutting in half, divide by 2, now you're going to multiply your lot size by 2. I'm still going to be, in terms of percentages, it's going to be literally nothing changes with the terms of percentages. The lot size changes though because, you know, the stop loss is smaller. So that was the second thing. The third thing that is changing, the time span of holding the trade. That was my biggest concern because the amount of time that I was holding my trades think of it like a glass. It was cracking my discipline. Since I spent a week of not being profitable and I'm only making 5 to 8% a month on average for the past quarter, which is 3 months, a quarter is 3 months in the year, right? Because, you know, 12 divided by 3 is 4. In the past quarter, pretty much ever since October, since October, I've averaged about 3 to 8%. So last week though, not this last week, but the week before that I lost. So think of it in the monthly terms. But what this is going to do is the time span period for holding my trade is going to help me so much because my patience isn't going to be there and I'll be able to double the amount that I make, which in turn is going to be able to but allow me the ability to pass the FTMO challenge because they require you make 10%, but I can't even do that with the swing trading strategy that I was doing. This is still swing trading. The time span is just going to be a little bit lower. And you can see basically we just go on this winning streak. We have 1, 2, 3, 4 big wins right here. Granted, those are 4 trades out of the hundreds of thousands of trades that you're going to take over your career. But you guys kind of get the general idea, right? Like, it's the same exact thing that I've been doing. It's just this week I needed to work on the time span. Pretty much I don't need to go over my journal because, you know, it's like everything I've written down is pretty much my journal is just literally backtesting numbers and ideas that I wrote down, and I already kind of went over it with you guys, like what I changed. And that's the only thing I really wrote in my journal was like, okay, well, kind of like, do I want to do this? Why do I want to do this? And, you know, is this a good idea? And then basically it was a bunch of backtesting, and the way my backtesting looks, I'll just show you guys real quick. Pretty much all of this crap. Now, this was a different idea that I had. So this was the 4 hours. So I was doing, like, I tried backtesting a traditional price trap that I used to trade, like when I first started trading. because I was curious about that, because I started to see, like, I was just looking at the charts and I was like, oh wow, this could actually work. So that could be a totally different strategy. Like, it actually is profitable. It came out with a 50% win rate. That is actually profitable. I just don't like the way that there's too many losses for me in one sequence to, you know, it's just terrible. It's not psychologically conducive for me. I won't be able to stick to something like that because there's just, the losses are just too much. Even though it came out with a 50% win rate with a 1 to 1.5 risk reward ratio, which is profitable, like extremely profitable, for me, the loss sequence is just a little too much. I want my wins and break-evens to be, I want there to be more wins and break-evens than there is losses. That's just personally me. But yeah, pretty much a couple pages literally look like this crap. It's just a bunch of different pairs that I was back testing and writing down and tracking everything. You know, if they're winners, losers, break even, and then I just wrote notes on there and was like, okay, maybe I need to change this. At first, I thought it would be a good idea to do 20 pips, but I found it's better just to split everything in half when I do that, right? But yeah, guys, that's been pretty much the video. Like, literally, that's all I did this week was just back test, and I didn't trade at all. All I did was back test. I have a tab open at the top right here. You guys can see I was looking into the correlations because the USD pairs are kind of scaring me because, you know, I'm not sure if they're really correlated. I'm learning more about that and doing research on correlated pairs because I want to be able to cut my pairs down to be able to, because what that'll do is I'll get better quality trades and I won't be taking as many losses at the same time, and I'll be able to up my lot size, so I'll be able to make more percentage on the month. It's just an overall profitable kind of thing that I was researching to make me, you know, even better as a trader. But that's been pretty much the video, guys. Like, I'm going to be trading next week, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to get a demo FTMO. I'm going to test that out once I make 10% on that account within the next week. Like, I'm going to do that demo count, let that demo count, you know, because they're 2-week periods. Either next week or the week after that, I'm going to get a real live FTMO account, and I'll probably record me buying it and everything so I can, you know, and putting it in the video so you guys know it's legit. But yeah, that's been pretty much the video, like I've said for the third time. That's all I did was literally, I didn't trade, I didn't do any of that. All this week was a refresher from my brain to not trade, to only back test, to think and build my confidence again in myself and my trading strategy. And the biggest thing that I took out of this week was I figured out why I'm having these problems again. It didn't happen for a little bit, but now, you know, because you learn new things as you're going along, and that was a new thing I learned with myself, is I thought that I was, because those time frames made sense to me, and it was overall profitable with backtesting, psychologically, I just couldn't deal with it because of, it's just too much of a holding period for me. And as you can see, like, look at this, like, these trades, like, I'm holding those trades for just a couple hours, guys. Like, when you get a good swing, and I'm usually at my computer like all night, not really all night, right? But so I do have a job, I work part-time. I might go full-time because what I want to do is, what I can do is I can use that to my advantage to basically, I can exponentially grow myself. I'm not going to go too into detail, but I can exponentially grow myself to just insane, like to where I want to be within the next year. And what I'll be able to do is I'll be able to use that money to fund my business. And what business I want to go to is I want to become a financial advisor, because I live in a small community town, and I want to become a financial advisor for the schools, for the businesses around here. I'll be able to make money that way. I can become a retirement fund for them. I can have them as private investors. I can make contracts with them to be able to put my own personal money on the line, trade for them. They get a percentage cut, and there's so many different things that I'll be able to do now that I have like a skill in finance and understanding like how this all works. But that's literally it. Like, if you guys want a more in-depth video of exactly how I'm doing everything, because I deleted my old strategy video. If you guys want a more in-depth video of how I'm doing everything, let me know. But yeah, that was pretty much it. I'm literally holding these trades. As you guys see, like, when I get the good winning, you know, running trades, like, I noticed that price doesn't really consolidate with this time frame, like these lower time frames that I'm using. Price doesn't really consolidate a whole lot. And I don't even get a whole lot of trade setups during that consolidation time. Like, I'll have, like, you know, that's when my streak of losers will happen. It's going to be like, you know, 5 to 10 losers, and I'm okay with that. But I'm holding on those winning streaks. I'm holding for literally just a couple hours, and that's what I was looking for, because what this is going to do is be able to let me hit that 10% on the month so much easier with FTMO. That's what I was looking for. But I'm going to end it here. I'm really excited for this next upcoming week. My holding periods are going to be so much shorter. It's just going to be, I'm going to have so much better results. Everything is going to be so much faster, a lot faster paced. The only thing is going to happen is I'm going to have to be a little bit more disciplined with being at my charts. So I'm going to always have to have a laptop next to me. And basically, yeah, like I have my time at night to be able to trade during the London session. So from midnight to 5 a.m., I'll be able to take those good trades. And just checking the charts every 15 minutes and I'll trade like one session sitting down. I think I'm just going to trade the London session. So from midnight to 5 a.m. And, you know, basically wake up at like 2 a.m. and maybe trade New York. But waking up really early, sitting down, at my computer, doing whatever, that's the cool thing is I can literally do whatever I want. Like I can watch videos, I can play video games and just wait for my, you know, every 15 minutes, just make sure to check the charts to see if, there is any candles that set up for me. So, but yeah, that's pretty much it. I'm going to end the video right here, guys. If you guys want a more in-depth video, just let me know in the comments down below. But yeah, I'll see you guys next time, and hopefully we'll have some results on the real live results for you guys on this strategy. So yeah, hope you guys have a great rest of your day, and peace out.